Hey, I got a mechanical. Mechanical.
Alligator.
I gotta fix a bike. I just got this out of the shop yesterday. How this happened?
Hi, welcome to The Crossing, where cycle commuting and gravel riding meet. I'm Jackal Crossing, and in this YouTube series, I'm going to share with you my cycle commute and my gravel rides and how the two work together to make me a stronger, safer, faster rider. So grab your bike and let's go for a ride. Hey, y'all, welcome back. Yep. How in the world did that happen? Exactly. We know what happened. It's obvious the what, but the how is somewhat of the weird question. Even in the moment, I wasn't sure exactly how it happened. And then, as I started taking it apart, I realized the what that had happened and the how that it had happened. It's kind of interesting, though, that it happened because I had just had this bike in the shop. I'd just gotten it out the day before. They did a full tune-up on it, new chain, new cables, new housings, because it had been through Border Wars about a week and a half before this, 2 weeks before this, and well, let's just say that Border Wars kind of destroyed some of the stuff component-wise. The chain was nearing end of life anyway. Border Wars just pushed that over the edge. So we're going to kind of go through this video. I'll stop in a couple places, break down some of the things that are happening. One thing I'll say is that for this situation, I had never taken the back wheel off my bike, not even on the bike stand, just had never even crossed my mind to do it. I've always taken it into the shop because it's under warranty, and anything that I've had go wrong has been able to wait until I get to the shop. That said, taking a bike off or taking a tire off a bike is pretty universal. However, there are some differences when it comes to drivetrains, especially those that have clutches, derailleur locks, things like that, and things you need to be really careful of. Also, some through bolts are headed on both sides, which I learned on this bike. This through bolt axle has an Allen head on both sides of the bolt, which is really convenient if you're in a situation where you don't have a lot of room to work on the bike and you can only work on it from one side, or some other situation. You'll see that I actually take the bolt out, the axle out from the threaded side. I don't recommend doing that all the time, but in this situation, it worked. So let's jump into the video, see how this went down, see exactly what happened, and we'll talk about it at the end. See you there. All right, so we get the bike stopped, get the toolkit out, drop the water bottles, all of that good jazz, and start taking the back wheel off. This is where you'll see what I'm talking about. I was really surprised that and a little confused in the moment about there being an Allen opening on the sprocket side. I went there first, but I couldn't get to my tool fast enough. This other guy, he whips his tool out, no pun intended. But see, there I go. I'm like, wait a minute, this isn't the right thing. This is not the right side. It should be this side. Why doesn't it go? I was very confused about this for a moment. Ultimately, I said, well, it fits over here. We're just going to go over here. A little tight, and there we go. Away it goes. Got a lot of help on this from folks telling me, things I needed to do because I'd never taken this wheel off before. So I disengaged the clutch. That was one of the things that will give you more freedom in the rear derailleur to move. So you disengage that clutch and it will move more freely. Finally. Get the axle out. Disengage the clutch. You see, we have a little trouble even doing that with pushing the derailleur forward. We're just not getting the slack. Finally, get enough slack, get the wheel off, and start trying to understand exactly what happened here. So at this point, it kind of dawns on me. Everybody's like, we should take a picture of this because this is funny. It kind of is, but it was also very frustrating for me. But I'm glad that it happened because I have the opportunity to share it with everybody on the channel here and get a learning experience. So there you go. You see I'm holding the rear derailleur forward while my bud there, he works on the front side trying to get that chain untangled. What had happened was we were coming downhill after a climb. I was still on the inside sprocket on the front. So little gear in the front and little gear in the back. From the climb, when I went and shifted to the big gear in the front, I was cross-chained, had too much slack. The chain jumped off the chainring, and I didn't realize it. Didn't make any noise. We were talking. I didn't even realize it. So I pedaled once. I went, that doesn't feel right. Tried to shift and pedal again to get it to shift, thinking that it was still on the inside derailleur, or the inside sprocket, on the front derailleur, and it wasn't. It was actually on the, so I pedaled twice, and then I looked down and went, oh, crap, I got a mechanical. So that's what happened. That's how this happened. You see, I'm getting it all back together. Really quick pit stop, honestly. Making sure everything runs well. Make sure everything's lined up. Luckily, with a through axle, it's a lot easier to keep your tire in line. But I always like to spin it just before I finish tightening it down, just to make sure there's nothing rubbing, nothing out of alignment. Pick up, clean up, put all the stuff back together, and flip the bike over and get back riding. All right, so that's the what that happened. That's kind of the how that happened, but something that contributed to the how. When I got home and I was washing my bike, getting all that mud off of it, I found the front derailleur was loose. The stationary bolt that holds the front derailleur to the front derailleur bracket on the seat post was loose. By about 2 turns, I could take and move the front derailleur by hand. So most likely what happened was that front derailleur bolt got loose, and when I was cross-chained and pushed it, to go to the large ring, it overextended because the front derailleur moved. Just a situation that happened. It didn't happen the rest of that ride, but I did find that front derailleur bolt was loose. So I tightened it up. I haven't had any issues since. Knock on wood. Video, just a quick little breakdown about this mechanical issue that I had, where it took us about 5 minutes to get it back on track. Cross-chained, jumped off the front sprocket, wrapped around the pedal crank twice, locked me up. Luckily, I was smart enough not to keep just jamming on the pedals. Brand new chain would have been toast. I was able to salvage the chain and make the ride finish. So hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up and subscribe, just like all the folks that you see at the bottom of the screen now. Thanks again for tuning in. And until next time, folks, I'm Jackal Crossing. Be safe, have fun, and I'll see you on the streets.